Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, so today we're going to rewind the clock back to 1949.
Ooh, post-World War II intrigue. I'm in.
Right, so picture this. The world's still kind of shaky from the war. The United Nations is this brand new thing, and all these former colonies are, well, up for grabs.
Yeah, a lot of shifting power dynamics going on.
Exactly, and we've got this declassified CIA intelligence report dated April 1st, 1949.
April Fool's Day, huh?
No joke, though. This report, it's all about Ethiopia's plans for Eritrea.
Ah, Eritrea. So strategically important, right on the Red Sea.
Right, and it had been an Italian colony for decades. But with Italy losing the war, Ethiopia was like, hey, we want that back.
Makes sense. They had a historical claim to the territory.
Totally. But here's the kicker. This report suggests that Ethiopia was seriously considering using, quote, direct action.
Direct action, meaning...
Military force. If the UN didn't give them Eritrea, they were prepared to go to war.
Wow. Talk about a bold move, especially for a newly formed international organization like the UN.
Right? Like, imagine you're this brand new organization trying to establish yourself, and a member state is already threatening to throw down.
Yeah, and remember, the League of Nations, the UN's kind of failed predecessor?
It didn't exactly inspire confidence, did it?
Not really. Failed to prevent World War II. A lot of folks were skeptical of international cooperation, so Ethiopia maybe thought force was the only way to get what they wanted.
Yeah, this actions speak louder than words kind of vibe. But wouldn't going to war have been risky, even for Ethiopia?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, sanctions, international condemnation, it could have been disastrous. But this report, it shows you how determined they were.
And how tense the whole situation was. It even mentions this informant, a longtime resident of Ethiopia, close to several Ethiopian ministers. Like straight out of the spy novel.
Right. Makes you wonder what kind of information they had, how reliable they were. It's all very hush-hush.
Totally. And then there's this other detail that just adds another layer to this whole thing.
What's that?
Ethiopia was buying arms from Czechoslovakia.
Ooh, now that's interesting. Remember, this is the start of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And Czechoslovakia, they're in the Soviet sphere of influence. So this arms deal, it wasn't just about weapons. It was about ideology, about the Soviets potentially gaining a foothold in Africa.
Whoa. So we've got this informant potentially shaping the fate of nations with whispers in Addis Ababa, and an arms deal, which is really a proxy battle in the larger Cold War.
It really highlights how interconnected everything was, even back then.
Okay, now, one more little detail that I found super interesting.
Hit me with it.
This document, the CIA report, it was declassified on December 23rd, 1998.
1998. That's 5 years after.
5 years after Eritrea gained its independence from Ethiopia.
After a long and brutal war, too. So why declassify it then? What's the motive?
Right. Makes you think, there's still some raw feelings there, even years later.
Definitely adds another layer of complexity to this whole thing.
So, folks, what we have here is a snapshot of a world in transition. Recovering from war, navigating a new global order, and Ethiopia, willing to use force to pursue its goals. All of that revealed through this one declassified document.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Knowing how things played out between Ethiopia and Eritrea, how should we judge their actions in 1949? Were they justified in their pursuit of Eritrea, or was it ultimately a tragic misstep? It's a complex question with no easy answers. Something to ponder, for sure.
Exactly. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Until next time.
See ya. To ETX.